Yo, we're obviously live. Hasanabi reacts to Charlie, aka Moist Critical's take on Travis Scott's concert tragedy. I got a lot of different emotions when it comes to this. Right now, I think I'm going to be commenting more on some of the intersecting ideas with this concert and some of the attitudes from people, pundits, and stuff like that too. And also, some of the attitudes from basically these two presenters here. Shout out to Hasan B and Charlie. I got some questions for these guys. I got a couple type of general easygoing questions for you guys. Sometimes here, before I start the video, I like to just roll into a rhythm. So I appreciate you guys being patient with me. I hope everybody out there, whether you're watching this live or in the given future, to be healthy and clear, and basically just challenging yourself to be interested in something. I know like the pundits and the funny guys will say, "Oh, I don't got no viewers," but things take work. Essays take outlines first, So getting ready to play the patient game here. Again, this on Reacts. Charlie, aka Moist Critical's take on Travis Scott's concert. Now I've been watching these guys, or not Charlie rather ever. I have been watching Hasanabi, and he's intriguing. He knows a lot about geopolitical interaction, and he knows a lot about individual dignitaries from all across the world. He's an interesting guy from a academic perspective. He also kind of reminds you of an insert, if you will. So, but that doesn't take away from his creativity and his interest and his content building here. So, I'm not a hater. I'm not into building my brands on hating. I do have some questions for these guys, though. There's a lot of different subliminal language use with these dudes. Because there's not a lot of guys that look like me on Twitch, but hopefully we can translate and start having more guys out there with better representation for handsome gentlemen like myself, who where we don't usually get to box in the Twitch arena with these guys, these dedicated gamers, these nerds, and I really think of myself as a nerd. Like I said in other videos, I wanted to stay away from different areas of tribalism, and but I'm also trying to go about showing why I'm frustrated with tribalism in some respects. This is going to be an interesting one, I think. It might be a little bit longer, so let's go ahead and get into it. Shout out to these guys about to react.
Could have caused that. I thought Light had gotten a hold of the death note and just started writing people's names in it at random at the concert. 11 heart attacks? His music isn't going that hard that it's just sending people to an early grave. Like, yeah, he had a pretty crazy Fortnite concert, I guess, but kids weren't dropping like flies because it was just giving them a heart attack.
Notice how he had to say that. Notice how he has to say it wasn't going hard. Like,
So I didn't know what the fuck was going on. I thought like, okay, maybe there was like overdoses or like a shooter or something. Aliens invaded. Like, how the fuck are this many people getting hurt and dying at that?
see, that's the pegging. Like, that's the pegging. Like, if, like, you know what I'm saying? Do you think he pegs God slap like that? You know, that's the pegging. The irony is that these guys, like, they want to comment on something like that, that it doesn't really represent them, or it's to some extent. Okay, this is what I'll say. Everybody wants to look rebel until some rebel shit happens. Look at this dude's hair. Like, look at his baseball cap and his horrible beard. Like, look at Hasanbi and shit. Like, they painting your fingernails and swagger jacking and biting, like assimilatory biting at a constant, you know. But these guys, they always have something like funny or derogatory or subliminal to say about like the other or like the next guy over, you know. Like, man, you should hear these guys how they say black. The way they pronounce black, man, is so weird. It's like, you know, there's no love in it. I'm just getting tired of it. I see these videos, and like I said, I want to be a friend. I want to be a fan from the informational perspective, as far as the jockeying of the geopolitical act, like the geopolitical like happenings and activities, and just politics like that in general. Like you want to be able to be interested in that, but then I'm just noticing like I'm noticing this trend that they set with their language and shit like that, like trying to always just talk down on other people and shit. But meanwhile, they're biting the swagger of the people that they're talking down on. I don't understand that.
Concert. It wasn't until after stream where I looked into it, and it is truly disgusting how avoidable this whole thing was. So, first of all, it is Travis's fault. I see a lot of people defending him for some reason on social media.
See, in another life, this guy he'd be like your counselor, your teacher, like telling you how horrible you are and how you're never gonna be anything in the world. And he makes 36 grand a year, being interested in the social happenings of 12-year-olds. You know, like it's just maybe I'm getting too personal, and I don't want to get too personal. I guess I get a little perturbed because I'm like, people get off on being like policing other people and stuff, and I guess in effect that's what I'm doing because I'm trying to um, bring up some different thoughts. But it's like it's just like you get this sense like when people are happy that other people failed or did something wrong, and they're like, burn, make them burn them. You know, look, and I'll keep it real with you. Travis Scott lit, super lit, super lit, super lit. Um, and I think that's as a side note, one of the thoughts, one of the notions that I think Anglo types, these Turkish, these by bred type guys like Charlie, you know, coming from, you know, middle America type culture, and then they're biting other cultures. Like they don't understand how serious like a guy like me takes the drums. Like when I hear the Travis Scott drums, like it's not just music to me. It's more of a spiritual thing that I feel that I'm personally in touch with when I hear those drums. Um, so I get offended. I get offended. I get offended when they're happy, uh, when they're happy about this type of shit. Like he's completely responsible. He should have known better. You feel me? Like everybody wants to look like Rager. Everybody wants to look like Rager though. That's what's so weird.
Travis Scott is just as much to blame for this tragedy as everyone else around him. I'm not going to share any videos for obvious reasons. It's really disturbing. There are just like golf cart ambulances going through the crowd with people dancing on top of them and preventing them from getting to people that needed assistance. There's videos of people performing CPR in mass on a bunch of bodies around them because people were just literally falling over unconscious, needing to be resuscitated. There's a video of Travis Scott who is looking at someone's body being crowd surfed towards the front of the way. It's this guy's body, and
Notice how he's using all alarm language. Bodies, resuscitation. He loves it.
It's being pushed over everyone's head, and Travis Scott is looking at it and continues to sing. That clip in particular is extremely popular and been floating around everywhere, but it's not the full clip. In the full clip, Travis Scott actually picks that guy out and tells security to pick him up and get him out.
This is the reason why I like wholeheartedly and completely was like, oh no, he knew and he fucked up. Like, if there is like ambulances or whatever, or if there's like people fucking in the margins and the edges, like that are getting EMS or anything like that, that's one thing. But if Travis Scott himself personally saw that people were getting escorted out and he kept fucking singing, no shot, you're at fault. You are also responsible. Obviously, the organizers, the people that sold extra tickets, the people that did not fucking control the situation, the people that did not inform Travis Scott that he has to stop the music immediately, they too are at fault. But Travis Scott is also personally responsible for recognizing that, no, don't say the stage lights are blinding. You can't.
Yo, I'll be right back. I have some issues here that I'll fix. I apologize. All right, sorry about that, guys. Again, we're back into it with responsibility checking, I guess.
You see this crowd. We already showed an instance where Travis Scott literally stopped the performance.
Hopefully, you guys can hear me really well.
And also, in this circumstance, you have to understand he stopped performance. Then he understood that there were people that were in a state of disarray, in a chaotic situation. He saw people that were already in pain. He saw his fans in pain. He clearly saw what the fuck was going on, and he kept singing. You can't do that. Like, you just, when you notice that, like, there's straight up people getting fucking brutalized in front of you, I thought he had no idea. Okay? I thought he had no fucking clue. And that is a super chaotic situation, and it's on the fucking production behind the scenes, and it's on the stage manager behind the scenes to fucking inform the artist to literally stop. But he personally did see that. He personally did stop. Which means, despite all the fucking lights and shit like that, clearly he saw.
Out of there. He noticed that he was unconscious and security was working their best to get him out of there. But then he goes right back to singing as they're trying to get him out. So people immediately start like fucking bumping and grinding on the people that are trying to get the body out. They're literally twerking on the security.
I don't care about fucking him deleting tweets of him telling fans to break in. That stuff is seasoning. Who cares? That's stupid.
Security guards trying to get a corpse out of there. And it shows, it doesn't make Travis look any better, in my opinion, because it shows that he was very well aware that people were literally falling over unconscious at his
like, even when I saw this video, I was like, this is such an insane situation that like lights were blinding him and he had no fucking idea, because it's just like, at first when you see it, you're like, no shot is any human that sees another human being that's a fan of his unconscious in front of his fucking eyes, like, continue to ignore and like hum him a lullaby, okay, in auto tune as he's being crowd surfed to a fucking ambulance. Like, that's not like what a human being would do. Well, guess what? Travis Scott did do that. I fucking literally thought that it's so beyond the pale that it's like not something that I was like,
I'll
there's
be
no
back
way.
on
Lights
some
probably were
technical
blaming
issue, I
no
guess.
fucking idea. Just doesn't matter. He did. He had stopped it.
Well, I'll keep this up. Like, I don't care. I'll keep it up. People are always concerned about mistakes and what other people think of him and
Girl
shit
Scout and
like that.
Astroworld
So
Festival
it's like I'll
organizers
keep
and
this
head
up.
players also they
Just want to make
constantly
sure
acknowledge
everything's
extremists
working
for harming the
properly.
concertgoers and in some cases
Thanks
actively
again. I'll be
encourage
right back.
implemented dangerous behavior.